Hey yo, what is up guys? It's your boy Twi here, and guess what? Video, no legs! And let's just get it popping. I read a few of them and there are some insanely broken ones out there. So let's get it popping. Also, there will be some Panzerone stuff. So for the people that like that crazy girl, we're about to check her out. Alright, so let's get it started. We got Baldwin, and Baldwin is a PvP character, heart in heart. And let's see what he gets. Okay, so he gets a healing HP, and it increases the number of targets on whatever. Great. Charges up onto 5 times. Sucks. Because his S3 has a huge ass cooldown, and I'm not sure about S2. Let me double check that for a second. So let me just check this out. We got the priest. We go to Baldwin. This 6-second cooldown, that's low. 15-second, 60-second, that makes it trash. Okay, let me double check. Okay, change the skill activation to the... Oh, okay, so you can activate this if you have enough mana after 6 seconds. This means that you start up with the S1, then you move up to the S2, all low on mana, I would feel. And then you pop this, and then straight after the 6 seconds, you pop this once again. And it will reduce the attack speed. So is this viable in PvP? You can actually activate it. Let's just keep it like that. And it dispels negative effects from your allies. Okay, now that also seems really good. Okay, reduces all damage that allies take by 30% and increases their heal rate by 50%. Now, Baldwin doesn't heal, so you would have to pair him with a healer to make this substantially good. Now, I'm instantly thinking, what if I would pair this with, for instance, Cecilia? Let's call her that. Cecilia does get CC'd, however. If you put Elias with a lot of mana, Baldwin with that crazy shield, plus the dispelling factor, that means that Cecilia will always get the move on, and you can get the extra heal rate so that she never dies. I can see this work. Okay, let's move on. Dakaris. Now, I've read this one and I was like, I don't even know what the hell Dakaris does, but I have found one that blew me up in Guild War, and that was no joke. Okay, let's get it popping. Creating tidal wave damage to frontal enemies, knocking them down. You heal HP, 1 orb of mana. Oh, to all allies. Okay, I was like, okay, is this himself or not? Afterward, absorbs the Lake of Remembrance. Amagorith, okay, and increases own damage for 60%. Now, that's pretty good. Charges up onto 7 times, dispels negative effects. Okay. Oh, see, there we go. That was what I was looking for. Reduces the activation requirement to 5. Okay, that's sick, I would say. The number of targets of May Their Agony End will increase to 2. So let me just pop up the cards for a quick second. We got ourselves... Where is this guy? Oh, wait, he's a wizard. He's a wizard lizard. Alright, so we got the skills, right? So May Their Agony End... Okay, attacks a random enemy 5 times. And it says, oh wow, this is a high damaging skill, by the way, guys. So if you got 2 enemies that it hits, oh my god, it's going to be absolutely crazy. Cooldown is 13 seconds though, so this is where the probability becomes a little low. This one starts off like 18-second cooldown, but you can pop it without any mana. Then you can pop the skill onto this 3 times. That is 4 skill uses. So if you pop then... this skill, you have an instant activation onto your soul weapon. Now obviously it takes up a little bit of mana except for this one, so assuming you could actually pop this, it seems really good because it dispels the negative effects or positive effects from the enemy and negative effects from allies within range. Knowing that he has a shield at the beginning, for what I can remember, makes this really insane, but only on advancement phase 2. But I think if I see a Dakaris in League of Honor, permaban all the time. Okay, let's move on. Demia. Now, Demia is one of those crazy ones which I really like. So, hear me out on this one. So, we got P crit resistance, increase. P block, increase. Another 300 for 10 seconds. Sounds good, right? But here's where the gig is. So, you get a mana source of blue light. It deals a total damage doesn't matter, within range over 9 times. Okay, and reduces their mana by 300. So wait, that is 2.7k MP, so that's almost 3 bars. Sick. At the end of the duration, you get an explosion and it silences the enemies. Okay, this all in all sounds godlike. Ain't gonna lie, godlike. Charges up on 4 times. Now let's double check the skill cooldowns, because Demia is one of those characters that is purely PvP. But if we look at the skill cooldowns, 11 seconds, 15 seconds, 22 seconds. So the chances of you to pull this skill is something that will happen because you're using a wall team. So 9 out of 10 times your whole games will last longer. Okay, so it will get activated. Let's just call it that. Okay, you get attack speed onto advancement phase 1 and recover mana onto all your allies within the AoE range. Now I'm expecting it's the same as the S2 that has an AoE radius. Same with the Happy Pumpkin, so you need to pull people in to get both the debuff effects and everything. Okay, let's call it that. Continuously dispels positive effects placed upon enemies that are within the blue light source. Okay, so this would counteract... Damn. This will counteract Burnine by a long shot, especially with the silence coming with it. Oh, that is crazy. I'm not liking this to some extent because I'm gonna use Demia Chase and some other Chamois. But wow, the dispel positive effects is insane, especially if it gets popped every single time with the damage. So the big question would be like if it pops multiple times with the dispel or not, because this is already a heal rate reduction onto all of the characters, like, you know. So yeah, this sounds pretty fantastic, I would say. I'm gonna look forward to using that at some point. Alrighty, let's move over to a Gauss. Let's check it out. So you get an attack boost, 8 seconds, okay. You deal damage every 0.5 second. So this is times 16. And you get an attack speed reduced. 100. Up on 10 times. Okay, so that is 1,000 attack speed reduction. That means the enemy team will not be getting anything out of it. And the frozen enemies will... you will freeze enemies? What? Now, why would you get the attack speed reduction plus the freeze? Because that seems... highly unnecessary, but whatever. Okay, charges up to 4 times. Okay, his S1 is pretty spammable, so you can go S1, S2, S3 and basically get that shimmy out, I think. Let me double check. So skills, S1, 8 second cooldown, 15 and 20 second cooldown. So within the first 8 seconds, if you do have the mana regen, you can be popping the soul weapon, which sounds pretty decent. Okay, you get a 4 second increase of that thing. So 8 seconds becomes 4 seconds, but it does not increase the stack. So I'm not really dinging it. Change the P damage boost effect to 50%. Wait, what? Oh, this one gets changed up to 50%. And every hit dispels positive effects from the enemy. So it seems like a PvP one. So no IMET, not whatsoever. Kind of sad about that one, but it is pretty good. But I can only name maybe one person that uses Gao in League of Honor. I don't think this will be used all that much. I'm not liking it. Gladi. Now, Chem-Cheddars, I hope you like this one. Let's check it out. So we got the Beast Fizz, Mastra deals damage. Oh, ignore defense. Sounds good. To an enemy with the highest attack. Obviously, that 9 out of 10 times is a boss. And the funny thing is, it sounds to me, even if you're hitting a front line, you will still hit a backliner. So you're basically shooting like Hadokens all day. So that sounds really good for PvP. And it increases own attack by 50% for 10 seconds. Now, that is pretty good. If you look at Cecilia 1, that will only get that if you get it advancement phase 1. So getting that straight up, okay, pretty good. For the duration of the skill, increases damage of the ultimate punch, which is the S3, by 50%, which used to be one of his main damaging sources, I believe. I'm not a Gladi player, so cannot really tell. Upon activating, this will hurt. It deals an additional P damage that ignores defense. Ignore defense, always great. But let's check it out for a second. So we got Assassins, we got Gladi up in the building, and let's check his skills. Okay, the ultimate punch, 20-second cooldown. So that means that for the 10 seconds, you have to pop your soul weapon first, then pop the S3 afterward for maximum damage. Okay, sounds good. And this will hurt. This is S4, I think. There we go. S4, 5 auto attacks, and wait, it already says it ignores defense. I don't get it. Oh, it will deal an additional damage, and it could like not ignore defense, but it does. Okay, so it adds up to the extra ignore defense. Okay, sounds decent, but I'm not a huge fan yet. Charges up on using skills 5 times. Once again, let's check out the initial cooldown. I mainly check it by the S1. Okay, not. I think the cooldown is pretty ridiculous. But if you use him in, for instance, Robots 2, where he could shine, you could place him with Honus so you could spam his skills more often. So there's multiple ways on how you can view this part. Okay, now the advancement phase 1. Upon using ultimate punch for the duration of the skill, defense ignore damage effect that only applies to bosses. This sentence makes no sense. The defense ignoring damage effect that only applies to bosses applies to all targets. Wait, so if you got AoEs or whatever, it will deal to everybody, not only bosses. I think that's the way to interpret this. Not quite sure. But okay, ignore defense and you get extra on AoE. For just an advancement phase 1, that sounds so bad. What the hell? Okay, let's move on. Ultimate punch changes damage boost to 100% and increases the additional P damage that ignores defense by 100%. I honestly don't like this thing, because it seems like it amplifies a 20-second cooldown skill. Now for PvP, that doesn't mean all that much. The only thing for PvP is fun that it will attack something on the highest attacking value character. But then again, like if you look at how much you need to pop, you gotta wait more than 15 seconds to pop your skill with the extra additional of mana that you use. So even for PvP, this seems like you won't be proccing this anytime soon. I'm not sure if I like this. Okay, moving on, and I would think this is one of the most broken ones, Honus. And let me tell you why. Increasing crit damage over 60 seconds. The uptime at this, 42 seconds, or downtime. So it means that this thing is up 100% of the time, if you proc it. Now, hear me out on this one, because it gets the attack order, it attacks 3 times, whatever, it stuns enemies, whatever. So it deals extra damage, basically. But the crit boost effects can stack up to 4 times. So I would say you activate it once, you get 30%. You activate it twice, you get 60%. Along the lines of those. So if you do that 7 times, because it says it here, on advancement phase 1, you can get 210 crit damage extra. And guess what? It seems very likely to spam, but this is not even all, guys. Guess what? On Guild Conquest, every time attack order activates, hit enemies will take 30% P damage for 5 seconds. Now, this means that every 3 seconds, you get a 3 times hit of this. So you will have a 100% uptime onto P damage reduction onto the enemy. That is super insane. That is absolutely godlike. It will be a 100% uptime. So reduce the skill activation requirement up to 10 seconds. This is Guild War, right guys? So guess what? 11 second startup. Seems doable, especially when you're facing a wall team. Now guild rate, upon activating, attack order gains 50 ammo. That's our main damaging source. If you pop the S2, blast all your ammo. Oh my goodness, this is beyond repair. Ain't gonna lie, this is gonna be really good. Now let's look at the advancement phase. Increases damage by 30%. Okay, so I'm assuming it's this damage. Overall, it's apparent all the time, meaning that 30% extra damage on top of it is just a huge increase. I'm not even sure about the attacking order, but whatever. Stacking is good. Increases damage by 70%. And attack increase per stack. So ain't gonna lie, I think this is one of the most broken ones, and I can assure you that Honus will be really meta. She will be insanely meta at some point. We're about to find that out. Okay, moving on. We got Kaula, and I'm honestly not a fan of Kaula, and his soul weapon also doesn't really seem like it's gonna change that. So you get an MP increase, 2 bars, heal rate reduction of the enemy, and M damage that they take. Becomes extra. You get lightning effects every 3 seconds, reducing enemies' mana by 500. So it's a really good depletion of mana. Great. After 10 seconds, it deals another damage and stuns for 5 seconds. Now, the stun, however, sounds good. The charge up time, 20 seconds. I don't think you can really get there because you don't have the heals, you don't have the dispels on PvP or whatsoever. And all of the mana decrease is all oriented to PvP. So, is this good? I don't think so. Advancement phase 1, 50% to any of these. Okay, and the defense penetration of all allies by 50 or 500 of the duration of the skill. Now, I would see this being used in World Boss 1, but even then, there are way better units to not even get the Kaula. So, honestly, I'm not liking this. Now, Luck Rock, Zig Force. My guy, you're gonna love this one. Alright, so you summon something that gives you 50% attack for 12 seconds. Afterward, you deal damage to enemies within range of a random so I'm not quite sure how to read this. If this is more of a counter setup that whenever people get into your zone and there's an AoE radius, or you hit an enemy from afar randomly on an AoE radius. Let me read it again. Deals a total damage of this to enemies within range of a random enemy over. Yes. So you basically, if you hit the guy at the far back, and if there are like a lot of backliners, he will probably just kill those backliners all in one go. Godlike. Okay. And it also stuns for 2 seconds. Awesome. And increases P damage they take for 30% for 8 seconds. What? Yo, that is pretty insane, my guy. Okay, so 18 seconds startup. Oh, wait. Reduces skill activation requirements by 5 seconds. So, wait. 13 seconds? Wait. Reduces skill activation requirements by an additional 6 seconds. So, you get... So, you get 11 seconds down on this. So, it is a 7-second startup? Godlike. For PvP, 7 seconds is... Ugh. That is godlike. And you get a skill cooldown reduction. I'm not even sure if he needs it because I don't know anything about his kit, but I would feel like Luck Rock is gonna be godlike. Absolutely godlike. Leo. Now I haven't read this one. I only came up this far until the point I knew, oh my god, the songs are incorrect. So let's go. Leo, what do you get from this? Summons the, okay, Belisa. Wait, we see one thing, right? Charges up on the skill 5 times. Okay, sounds trash. Requirements 3 times. Okay, that is, that means he can probably pop it because his MP requirements are not that big, I feel. Okay, let me read the rest. So attack for 10 seconds. Oh, and you create a shield that absorbs damage, grants CC immunity, increases damage dealt to the enemy by 20%. So you basically buff up your main attacker by a lot. Nice. Afterwards, dispels positive effects of frontal enemies in a straight line. Okay, so this enemy oriented dispel, like it's a 3 basically. Okay, the skill requirements lowered, sounds good. Hit enemies cannot receive positive effects for 5 seconds. So this is, you can compare this to Kane's Tyrant S1. Pretty good, I would say. But it only happens after the 10 seconds, and I feel like Leo dies 10 out of 10 times before that. So I have the same feeling with the Baldwin one, but this is even less accessible. Okay, moving on, Lorraine. 10 seconds, dealing damage, random enemy every 2 seconds, increasing magic damage by 2 for 10 seconds. So you have a, I would feel, 20-second uptime onto this debuff. Inflicting shackle for 2 seconds. Now that is funny. Not sure how good it is. And recovers all mana and reduces cooldown of all skills. Oh, yo, this will make Lorraine an absolute spammer. But the charges is 70 seconds, so is it PvP wise? Not quite sure. But this cooldown reduction is... that's pretty good. You get a 5-second cooldown reduction onto all of your skills. Funny. Okay, is it good? I'm not quite sure. Increases own attack by 50% for the duration of the soul. Awesome. Increases the duration of CC effects applied onto enemies by 30%. Yo, if you would use that at dragons or something, that would be sick. And reduces their M defense by 25% for the duration of the soul. Also, this could be pretty much paired with Kersey, Lorraine, Theo, Sonya into World Boss 1. Get an absolute amazing stun out. But yeah, would this be meta at some point? I do not think so. Panzeron. Now we still don't know anything about her kit, but let's look at the soul weapon. Okay, increasing Panzeron's attack speed by 500 for 8 seconds. Now obviously there's a cap, and I'm not that much of a fan of attack speed increases anywhere. Afterward, attacks an enemy for a while frontal range 3 times, dealing damage, and pretty much this one seems to skill like a whole lot. The last, okay, on a wide frontal range for 8 seconds. Okay, dealing damage every 1 second, increasing P damage the target take by 25%. If the target is inflicted with internal blaze, that's probably one of her skills, the P damage boost effect to the target changed to 35%. So basically you pop the skill, pop the soul weapon, and guess what? Massive damage. Nice. Increases damage by 100%. So I'm assuming is this one. And I think this one has one of the biggest amplifiers on the game. It only does it 3 times, but that could be pretty good. Okay, for the duration, the attack speed boost and effects of the Tesseract playing, okay, increases by 4 seconds. I'm not sure how to feel about it, but that's mainly because I haven't looked at her kit yet. Pavel. Wow. Okay, let's check this out. Oh, we haven't checked. Charges up on dealing. Oh, she's a multi-hitter. That's what we can already tell. Okay, Pavel. Will he be able to one-shot people with even more than he already does? Okay, increases on crit damage by 100%. Awesome. Upon activation, you deal magical damage with a low bar. Okay. Increases magical damage the enemy take by 30% for 10 seconds. Nice. But it only activates 1 time, it seems. And inflicting freeze for 6 seconds. Okay, fun upon. Oh, and it reduces skill cooldowns by 30%. That is really sick. Oh, changes the skill activation requirements to 4 times. Awesome. Once again, with just 4 times, how fast would he be able to do it? Let's check out a wizard. Let's look out a Pavel. We're still not sure. What gender is he? He is male plus female for the people that don't know. Let's look at his skills. Mainly S1. Oh, wait, if you start out with the S2, you can basically really pop it within 8 seconds. Pop it with all of the other skills, get a whole lot of mana on this guy. You would be able to activate this pretty fast. Get a 30-second or 30% cooldown reduction. This makes it instantly 12 seconds upon popping it. So I would feel that this one seems really OP as long as you keep Pavel alive. Okay, increases damage and dispels positive effects from a hit enemy. Awesome. So if there's a Baldwin shield, Lowman shield, whatever you name it, this one would be really, really good. I think this one could be pretty OP. And it recovers self orb by 2 mana. Nice. That means that your abilities will be spammable. So I'm assuming Pavel will be really good in the future. I really can see this work. Alright. Then we go up to the last one. My main guy, Philip. The guy with the turtle hat. Summons the... Okay, Atean. 10 seconds. Okay, I'm not liking that. I was hoping for more. For the duration. Yeah, I'm greedy like that. For the duration of the soul, increases own defense by 60%. Now that equates with the unique weapon itself. That is fun. And normal attacks deal an additional of physical damage onto max HP. Now that seems really insane for PvP. Wow, you can make a deal up even more sick than he already is. What the actual hell? I think this is bigger than Sonya's. Collision deals an additional damage. P damage the target takes becomes more. Nice headbutt. Additional P damage. What? Yo, this becomes a total HP bonanza. Look at this stuff. Deals additional P damage equal to blah 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 HP. Immediately heals HP equal to 20% of own max HP. Wow. Like, here's the thing with it. If I was doing I'm at 8, this would allow this guy to heal himself by so much. What the fuck? Oh, increases the soul duration by 5 seconds. So this becomes 15 seconds. Okay, my greediness is coming to change and nice. And it charges up over 23 seconds. And this is what I like with some of the tanks. If you look at clauses, it doesn't activate all that much because you need to get hit to activate it. But guess what? Most of my teams are not really getting hit all that much. So you're not activating it all. So yeah, getting that is pretty good. Changes the additional P damage proportional to HP from normal attacks to 2%. What? That's a 100% hit. So that is an extra cross pumpkin, basically. And increases the defense reduction of the effect of destroy armor by 0%. And increases the defense reduction of the destroy armor. I don't even know what it means, but whatever. Let's just take it. So Phillips one is gonna be insane. We're gonna see a lot of deal ups out there. I can already tell them. Last but not least, we got one left, and that is Celine. Now she wasn't in the earlier leagues, so I waited a little bit. But what it says is you get Notice 13 seconds, and 13 seconds is a lot for a soul weapon. Increasing own attack and crit damage by 50%, which is a huge amount, I would say. And for the duration, there is like another source of damage coming out. And the damage is ignore defense, which is really good for bosses, obviously, on an enemy for 4 seconds. So I'm not quite sure how this will work out. But I will feel this one comes out 3 times with the damage of this and a knockback. And it will reduce the cooldown. So spamming S1 and S2 seems apparent, especially if you look at the phase 1. The damage increase goes up, so that implies this 55k part, and you recover own mana by 1000, which is 1 bar. As well as the phase 2 increases damage and reduces skill activation requirement of 40 times. Now, this sounds to me like, okay, you may be able to use it in PvP or whatnot, but I'm not quite sure about that. But here's where the catch comes in. 20-second cooldown, 8 times use. So I am feeling that with attack speed, with all of the gimmicks that Celine has, that this has a pretty high uptime. And that concludes the video. Hope you guys like it. Put into the comments which one you like the most. But for now, this is Twebby. Peace!